In today's video, we're going to be looking at how much energy and time we're going to be needing to pump water into my 1,500 liters tank. To do that, we're going to be needing my 0.75 horsepower submersible pump. Now, this is a power management channel, so every detail matters. If you're using an excess of maybe 5 to 10 watts power from a device, it may look like it's not much, but when you total that power that you are losing, when you convert it to the energy you'll be losing in a day, in a week, a month, and in a year, you'll be surprised at how much energy you are losing. So that's why power management is very, very important. For this experiment, we're not going to be doing so much power details or anything. We just take it as it concerns us. So for today, the height of the submersible down to the overhead tank is about 60 feet. And the inverter I'm using is a 2.5 kVA inverter. Now, you may want to stick around to the end of this video because there are some tips I'm going to be giving you if you intend to be pumping your water with your solar system or your off-grid in an off-grid situation, because a lot of people damage their batteries because they don't know how to do it. They just do it anyhow, and before you know anything, they are complaining that their batteries are bad. So stick around for that one. So let's dive into this. Now, the first thing I noticed is that just connecting my inverter without putting it on, I was drawing 1 point something watt from the system, that's from my battery. Now, the moment I put on my inverter, it quickly jumped to 37 point something watts. And once the fan kicked in as well, it further increased, and we're talking about almost 42 watts. So that was what I was pulling from my battery. That was before I even put on the pump. So, but because the power that I'm drawing from the battery is very high compared to this loss now, we're going to term it negligible. So we're not going to be dealing with it. But in future videos, we're going to be dealing with those little ones, and you see how it affects your overall energy consumption. You can see that I also had to reset the meter to 0. Sometimes the meter is at maybe just 50 watt hour or something. So if you just continue like that, it will continue and you will not know. So you have to make sure that the energy is on 0 watt hour before you start. So that's exactly what I did in this situation. Another thing that surprised me, and I won't say shocked me, was that I was expecting a 0.7 horsepower to be about 580. If you calculate it, that's what you're supposed to get. So I was expecting to see that on my meter, but to my greatest surprise, I was seeing double the power that the submersible pump was rated for. So that really surprised me, and as I speak with you, it's still surprising me because I'm trying to understand exactly why, doing my research and everything. So you can leave a comment in the comment section below if you understand why it's consuming that much. Whether it's the height of my submersible to the overhead tank, I don't know. So, but I'm still looking for answers. Now, the result on your screen right now is what I got from a friend who has a 1 horsepower submersible pump. So we're going to be monitoring the progress of the experiment. And just to let you know, just at the time of the water tank filling up, I wasn't really available. So you're going to see it at the end of the first one that I did. I didn't really capture it at the point where the tank got full. So I had to repeat it another day. So, but let's just observe it and you see what I'm talking about. Basically, we can see from the meter that the energy seems to be rising while the other variables, the power, the voltage, and the current, they more or less remain the same. So that's how it's going to be until the end of the experiment. Now, this meter, it comes in very handy when you want to know how much power you are getting from your off-grid system, and of course, what you are using at home. So it's something you want to consider having. So the time that is used for pumping this water is going to vary depending on the size of the pump. It's going to also vary with the depth of the submersible pump. So for this particular experiment, having done it twice, I was able to get the tank full at about 28 minutes. Power management, like I said earlier, is very important. Every little detail. Now, if I know how many watt hour, which we already know concerning this one now, it will take me to pump a particular amount of water. What that means is that by the time I understand what one solar panel can do, I'll be able to know how many panels I'll be needing for different tasks. So that's why it's important to know what your devices, your appliances, they consume over a 24 hours period, a weekly period, depending on how you use them. So that way, it will be easy for you to size your system, because I'm going to be doing a video on how you size your battery bank, your solar panels and everything. So these little things, they add up when you understand them. At the beginning of the video, I did say I was going to give us tips on how to manage our submersible pumps in off-grid situations. Now, one of the mistakes we make is to allow our water to go 0. If you have a very big tank, one of the things you don't want to allow to happen is that you want your water to go to 0.0 and you now start pumping all over again. You are going to use a lot of energy to pump your water, and depending on the timing of that, it's going to affect your battery. Now, your battery doesn't like you pulling a lot of amps from it all at once and for a very long time, so that affects batteries a lot. So you want to time it in such a way that when you are pumping your water, very important, during the day when the sun is high, that's where you want to pump, and you want to be pumping on the regular basis. And the other thing that also happens for some people is that they run their battery down, so they don't have anything to use, for those who are just depending on their off-grid system. So these are some tips you want to. Don't wait for your water to finish. Very important. Just be pumping your water. If it's every day, you're around and the sun is shining, just pump your water. It doesn't cost you anything. That is the best way to go. That way you are not damaging or you're not affecting your battery. The idea of waiting, anytime it gets finished, you go and pump, and you now maybe make the mistake of pumping at night. If your battery bank is not very big, first of all, you're going to run your battery down, and of course, you're going to be affecting the power you're dragging from your battery. For the most part, it's going to be affecting it. So these are the things you want to put into consideration if you want your battery to last very well when you are using heavy load. So this cuts across using heavy appliances in general. So you want to target that time when the sun is very high. You can use any load you want to use. At the end of the day, your batteries will not feel that drag from the load that you are putting on them. Originally, I wanted to get a DC pump. DC pumps are very efficient and they consume less. So if you've not built your house, you've not installed your borehole, you may want to look in that direction. But I don't have any preference, for instance, now. So maybe I'd have loved to recommend, but just look for a DC pump that has good review, and that's what you want. They're actually the best. They consume less, and of course, they don't pump as fast as the electric ones, but slowly but surely, they'll give you the amount of water you want. So that's one thing. I think maybe in future, down the line, if I'm going to change or anything happens, I think I'll still want to get that DC pump. So the other advantage of that one is that I'm using an inverter to run this one right here, but if you have a DC, you just connect it either to your solar panels directly or you connect it to your battery bank. So either way, you want to program it in such a way that it works only when there's good sunlight. So we're going to be looking at all those things in future. These are the kind of things that will help you. Sometimes you may not enjoy the video, but that knowledge is going to help you in an off-grid situation. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you'll be seeing more of these kind of tips on how to manage your solar system.